Taiaiake Alfred, originario de Taiaiake, región de la nación Mohawk, es un reconocido escritor y académico de la Universidad de Victoria en Canadá. Orgulloso de su herencia indígena, describe cómo la cultura oral, la tierra y los derechos humanos son factores que unen a los pueblos indígenas en todo el continente americano.
Well, I think the oral tradition is really the essence of our culture because it's our memory as a people, it's our ceremony, it's our history, and for Mohawk people and I think for indigenous people generally in Canada and the United States, and I think it's the same here in Mexico as well, it was more of a collaborative process of sharing stories. And so the storytelling and the oral culture and the listening part of it was very, very important to what it meant to be indigenous. I think it's probably the reason we're still here. My work is basically talking to people. So I go and I talk to elders, and just like we're doing here, for hours and hours and many, many different, and then I come back and I look at that and I remember, and then I write about what the lessons are in what they're telling me. In the work that I do in the university and the books that I've written as a scholar, it's the foundation of what I do, because what I try to do is to revive the idea of being Mohawk from a pre-colonial time. Basically looking at our laws, our government, all of our traditions, and trying to bring that back and make it relevant today for the younger people to take forward. The essence of the culture being the language and the vitality of the language, and in the worldview that language conveys. And so for our people in the Mohawk experience, we're actually coming to a phase of revival. The real important thing is having language speakers interact with younger people doing culture. And our approach is to do it on the land, so in relation to the natural environment. So when people are learning the medicines and they're learning all the traditional crafts and they're learning basically how to be native in that natural environment through the language. So to us, that's the most important part of it. To be indigenous, whether it's in Mexico, Peru, or Canada, or the United States, it's to be in a close relationship to the land and a respectful, harmonious relationship to the land, to that environment. And so you define yourselves in a very, very close way to that particular environment. And so when you're cut off from interacting and using that, then your sense of being indigenous is gone. In Canada, that's not any different than Mexico. And so where there's no conflict over the land, they're okay. Like natives can live on the land and use it. But wherever anybody else wants that land for something, for mining or forestry or whatever it is, then the native has to move out of the way. And there's no question about that. And that's a big problem in Canada as it is here. In a positive sense, it's to honor and respect the ancestors' struggle. You know, like they fought to survive, they struggled, they suffered for us to be able to be Mohawk, not to be Canadians. It's language, it's politics, it's all of this stuff. Just to think back and say, well, I'm not going to turn my back on my ancestors. I have to face them, and I want them to be proud of me. And so that's the work that I do.